Can you actually hear me? Great.
Mic check, mic check. You guys hear this? Nope. Hello. All right,
Yeah,
we're good.
you're good?
Hello.
Yes. Okay, so I have Sarah and Dante here with me today. And we want to start off, Instagram is all about getting social, so we want you guys to do a little exercise for us today. Dante, go ahead and kick us off.
All right, everyone take out their phones right now. I want you to go on Instagram. I want you to go to your search bar. Tell me when you're at your search bar. I want to hear a yes from everyone. All right, we're going to go to the tag section. We're going to go to type in Curaytor Excellence. Click on Curaytor Excellence. That's a trending hashtag right now in Boston. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to click on one of the pictures and go follow somebody that you haven't followed in this room already. Tell me when you did that. Done? Are we still looking, or what's the deal? Come on, I get.
Come on.
All right. All right, search bar. Type in Curaytor Excellence. Okay, on the tag section. And then click the follow. That's the first step in connecting with somebody else and really building your Instagram. Continuing to follow people in your industry, it leads to a huge impact later down the road for when you build out your entire Instagram. So, I'll let you go.
Yeah, so while you guys are doing that, we just wanted to stress the importance of getting social on Instagram. So say you're walking into a party, you're not gonna go up to someone, introduce yourself, and then before they can answer, you just walk away.
Right.
So that's what it's like to people when you don't, like if you post a question on a caption and then you're not engaging in the comments. Or if you follow someone and you just want them to follow you back but you never engage with them, that's how it comes across to people. So if you want to grow your Instagram following and you want to actually have people engaging with you, then you have to get social with them. And I know this is something that Sarah told me is incredibly important for North Group. And what's interesting is that you do it for the brand, and it's not just you running it. So how many people are actually running it?
So we have about 15 to 20 people that have our Instagram login, which is a lot. It's a lot to manage, but there's a couple of reasons for this. The first is really practical. So we sat last year watching Lucky to Live Here. We've seen the Summers Group. We want to be those teams that have a lot of Instagram followers. And frankly, we were like, how do we find an Ashley, or how do we find an Annette? It's really, really hard to find that person that can deliver and be the social media superstar. We tried. We've made a couple mistakes with our marketing hires. And so as a practical move, we said, why don't we just have our team help us with our content? So our whole team has access to post in the stories. We fully manage our feed. That's controlled by us, so we can control the image and content. We fully manage the messaging and the interaction with consumers. But the stories, it's kind of chaos in a beautiful way. Everyone can post on it. Our team's really dynamic. We have a really strong culture, so we want to show that off. So the second reason is we're not out with clients as much as our team is. We don't know our brand. We know our brand, but our team knows it better. Our team can be with showings, they can be door knocking, they can have their client testimonials, and it's instant. So Instagram's a social tool, and the only way to be social is to be reactive to what's going on around you. And so having the team play a part in that has been a game changer for us. We have 1 million stories at all times. It can be annoying for people, but they said everyone has 2 to 3 second attention spans. And so when you have a lot of stories, that's 2 to 3 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds, and a lot of engagement with your posts.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so true. So this is a really important takeaway for you guys, and I want you guys to write this down. If you are managing your social media for your brand and you are a part of a team, make sure that your team has access to those social accounts if you're comfortable with that, and get them involved with it. For example, at Curaytor Excellence, we have a social media squad. If you're on the social media squad, cheer, raise your hands. So we have several people who have been so kind and helping me manage the social media, and it really is there is a power in numbers. So take that in. Take that advice, and it's a little bit different actually for Dante over here because he manages his personal brand, and it's a little bit of a different process, but he's able to simplify it. So he has a little bit of a personal brand strategy that you guys can implement right now. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's who, what, and when. I'm going to start with the who. So who is knowing your audience? We all know, we're all from a different area. We have to know who we're speaking to. I feel like a lot of the times I'm seeing a lot of your posts and it's just speaking to like a specific group. If you can really go out there and target like everybody around and make every follower feel like they're actually a part of your post, that is going to be super, super crucial. Because if your target audience is like, okay, I just sold a home for $800,000 and I'm holding the keys with my clients, like that's only going to target like a little part of your audience. Like that's not going to target everybody. And a lot of people are going to feel discouraged at the end of the day because quite frankly, they're going to feel like maybe you can't even sell them a home because you have, you only sell 800,000 and up. So a lot of the times, you're losing half your audience. You've already lost the game if you don't realize that you have to be open to everybody. What type of audience, like I said, but like what type of content are you providing for these people? And like I said with the why, if you're just posting about your recent sales, market stats, and analytics, that's not going to help everybody. You have to post things that like real life situations. For me, with my clients, what I'm doing all day and every day is I'm showing them going into open houses. I'm showing them, having conversations with clients, and I'm talking through the real life process because people want to see you as a human, not a real estate agent. They want to treat you like you're an actual person.
Right.
And those are the people that are going to swipe up on your Instagram because they're going to be like, damn, like I feel like he's so genuine and authentic to his brand. So for me, the what factor is really going to dictate what type of content I post at all times. I target first-time home buyers, 3 to 5% down. That's the type of shit that people want to see. People are swiping up. They're just graduating college, going, "I thought I had to spend 20% down. Like that's insane." And now I converted 10 out of my 15 sales this year were literally from Instagram because I'm providing them content that they had no clue about. So put yourself in the shoes as a marketer, as a mortgage lender, because we all can close deals here, but we have to provide that next step of content. And when. This is the craziest part because I feel like a lot of times people aren't posting when they should. How many, with a show of hands, how many people here are from the West Coast? Okay, and then raise your hand from the East Coast. All right, cool. So if you're from the East Coast, why are you posting at 9 a.m.? Like, it doesn't make sense because the West Coast is at 6 a.m. Who in the West Coast with the show of hands is going to comment on someone's post from the East Coast with a fire emoji at 6 a.m. in the morning because they closed the deal, honestly? Probably nobody, okay? So the thing is, posting at the right times when people are getting home from work, think of that 9 to 5 mentality. That's when you really want to get all your content out there because the first hour of your post is going to be the hottest time for all of, the reactions, the comments, the likes. So you have to realize that timing is literally everything. So ask yourself those 3 questions, and when is definitely one of the most important too.
Yeah, and he covered something that I found incredibly interesting. So Dante does a lot of home tours, and when I talked to him about this, he expressed that he is very careful to make sure that he tours only the properties that are the most affordable for people.
Yep.
So he doesn't do, the high-priced homes. He does the ones that he thinks that the most people are going to be able to afford. And that's an important takeaway for you guys because you don't want to limit your audience too much.
Right.
If that's your demographic and that's the only people that you're going for, then so be it. But if you want to reach a wider audience, then make sure you open that up. And so you talked about scheduling.
Right.
And Sarah, you know all about scheduling your content
Yeah.
and content planning. What's your process?
So building a brand Instagram is it's a completely different world than building a business Instagram. And we're still learning every single day. I think I sit in the analytics all the time just being like, oh my gosh, we're doing it all wrong. But so what we do is as a team, we plan our marketing calendar 2 weeks out every single time. So we have pillar pieces that we know we're always going to fill content. So it's either community, brand, team related, or product, which is listings. And so we know to fill those pieces, we'll plug those in. We know what upcoming listings are coming. We know if we have a testimonial, we'll kind of plan it out. We do get to know us posts. So those type of things are always the static content. And then we try to react as much as possible. So if we have a fun team meeting or there's an event going on or we're at Curaytor, we're going to post about it because it's relevant, it's going to get engagement, and it's natural.
Yeah.
With our stories, on the other hand,
Yes.
our stories are where we live. Honestly, our meat and potatoes are in the stories. Chris said it yesterday, stories are important. That's where we're getting the most engagement by far. And so with our stories, we just, quite frankly, harass our team to post on stories. So even if you have a small team, it took us a while to get it natural. We knew some people were really good at social media and they wanted that voice, and other people less so. So we kind of took advantage and then offered incentives. So we had a recent team meeting and we said, whoever posts the best takeaway on Instagram stories for us will get a gift card. And before this Curaytor conference, I went on Slack, messaged all of our teams and was like, you better get on the Instagram stories. And they delivered. Yesterday we had like 40 stories up. We don't really play too much into like worrying about who's gonna say what, because everyone tells a story. It's a different perspective, and there's honestly, with that many people in our stories, there's something for everyone. So it delivers to a lot of different audiences.
Yeah, so you guys do provide incentives to your team to get stuff up.
Yeah, exactly. And we really acknowledge those that are posting the stories. So it's a very open conversation. If we have a team meeting or a sales huddle, we are talking about posting on our social media. We're talking about the benefit for us. It's not a secret, one person, only one marketing person that controls it. We have a really strong culture, so that's an advantage. And so we know people are going to get our messaging right. So if you have the culture, then you're fine. If you don't, develop the culture and then push forward with sharing it.
And then kind of going off what Sarah said real quick, I mean, for a personal brand, I'm waking up, I don't know how many of you guys follow me in this room, but I'm waking up every single morning and posting at least 2 to 3 posts on my stories. Because let's face it, stories and your timeline posts are completely different. When you're posting a story, it lasts 24 hours. And if you're posting stories consistently throughout the day, you're always going to be bumped up front to someone's Instagram page. So when you go to refresh your page, right? When you go to refresh your page, going to see your new feed, Dante is going to be at the top of that page most of the time, whether you like to see my face or not. It's going to be the fact, because I'm always updating my stories. And the more and more and more that this resonates with the people viewing this, the more that they're prone to swipe up, connect with you. And let's face it, most of the people that are connecting with me right now, I'm building a web. I'm not looking for that hot lead coming in and saying, look, I want to buy a home tomorrow for $1 million in Boston.
Yeah.
I'm essentially looking for that development with someone and working with them, 1 to 3 years over time, and having them, DM me and just follow my lead at all times and look at me as the expert. So I'm not looking for that hot lead, but what I'm doing is I'm getting in front of them, getting in front of their face all the time.
Yeah.
Forget the door knocking, forget the prospecting. Content creating and building out this way is going to work wonders. And I know that you all in here are super intelligent, and like I said, you know how to close deals. So provide that value to them. Let them know how to buy their second home, or let a first-time buyer know what the parameters are. And once you have all of that in your story, I mean, you just keep making that into evergreen content all day, and you're going to see the results for sure.
Yeah, we'll come back to evergreen content in a second. So Chris touched on this earlier about how. Actually lost my train of thought.
No, it's okay. I have 2 key points about stories. One is that you are your brand, and so you better be in those stories. And so we try and find a balance of content, of properties, and you. And our stories are more informal. It's fun. It's a temporary thing. You really can't mess it up. Just get in front of the camera. Don't overthink it. And then when you have a great idea, tell a story. It's called Story for a reason.
Yeah.
And so we use a lot of tools to help get people interacting with it. So you can watch your analytics. If you have a business page, you can click on the story, and you not only now can just see who's viewed it, but you can see how many people clicked over to your profile, how many people clicked the buttons on it, how many people clicked a user on it, or how many people exited your stories and what stories they dropped off on. And watching those and kind of being obsessed with that kind of analytics, you'll know what content to post, and you'll know which content to kind of leave at the door.
Yeah.
And then the second point is that people want to buy, but they don't want